Words have meaning. But Dr. B, everybody knows words have meaning. Silly statement. Ah, but what's the actual meaning? If you visit in the South and someone says to you, "Bless your heart," are they bestowing a blessing? If you're not from the South, you might think that. If you're from the South, you know that what's really being said is, you're an idiot. Understanding the true meaning of what's being expressed by others is rather important. Not too long ago, most Americans got behind the Patriot Act. I'm a patriot. Sounds good. We're patriotic. Great label. What it really was an act to take away civil liberties and the right of privacy. The government now can spy on its own citizens legally. Not too long ago, we dealt with the No Child Left Behind law, and a lot of people would refer to that now as the Still Left Behind legislation. We've all heard that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, in the West, peace means a lack of conflict. In defense of those who would call themselves Muslims, peace means you're either part of Islam or you are subject to Islam. That is peace. Otherwise, you are in one of two worlds, which is the world of Islam or the world of war. The Affordable Health Care Act. Still a lot going on with that years later. And what we saw was it did provide health care that was affordable to a very few. But for most, it doubled or even tripled their health care costs, and some lost their health care altogether. So we saw benefit for the few at the expense of the many. Currently, there is new legislation regarding the Voting Rights Act. And most of us would support the right to vote. Sounds good. But looking at the details, what we really see is that's a right to defraud act. No way to track voting, no need for identification to vote. Currently, there's also legislation entitled the Equality Act, and that sounds good too. We like equality. We don't think people should be mistreated. We shouldn't judge others, and we shouldn't be judged by the color of our skin, where our folks came from, which side of the tracks we were born on. But that's not what this is referring to. What it's referring to is equality as they define it for LGBTQ folks, which then will translate into businesses, schools, sports, letting boys participate as females in female events, which bathroom is used, males identifying themselves as females going into female restrooms. It'll affect foster care, who can foster children and who can't. Children's homes will be affected. We've already seen it related to baking cakes. So what it amounts to is taking away the rights of the many and giving additional rights to the few. Labels, equality. Equality sounds good. Patriot sounds good. We like to get behind those words. The trouble is we need to be careful not to get behind some of the legislation that it actually represents. And politicians are wizards at using terminology that on the surface sounds very appetizing, but it spoils in the stomach and gives the country a lot of indigestion. One of the phrases to watch currently is social justice. Watch what is behind that phrase, because we believe in justice. We believe in equal opportunity. That's not what we find behind that phrase. Watch that phrase and watch who's using it and watch what they mean. Again, taking away rights of the many to give it to the few is often what's behind a lot of this legislation. And if by chance there are any politicians out there that are supporting a lot of these misleading laws with their misleading labels, well, all I have to say is, bless your heart.